President Donald Trump says the U.S. will be slashing the number of American troops in Germany by nearly 10,000 from current levels of about 35,000. He tied the move to what he called Berlin's failure to meet its NATO spending commitments. The move has shaken the NATO military alliance and Germany, which serves as a base for many of the U.S. troops who deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan.
For 70 years, tens of thousands of American troops have been stationed in Germany. For Europe, their presence at bases like Spangdahlem, a guarantor of peace. For the US, an expression of its military might. On Monday, Donald Trump confirmed he would be withdrawing almost 10,000 of them, leaving 25,000 behind. He blamed Berlin's failure to meet its NATO spending commitments.
Word is coming in of clashes on the Chinese-Indian border. Beijing accusing India of crossing a disputed border between the two nations. This as the Indian army says 3 of its soldiers have been killed in those violent clashes. Beijing saying Indian troops crossed the border line twice on Monday and says that there have been casualties on their side as well. The deaths are believed to be the first in decades in a confrontation between the two world powers. North Korea has blown up its joint liaison office with the South on its side of the border. The move comes just hours after the North renewed threats of military action against the South. The office near the border town of Kaesong was opened in 2018 to help the two nations to communicate.
The office is, as you said, it was created shortly after a summit in 2018 between the North and South Korean presidents, in which they basically pledged to try to avoid all hostile acts and setting up this liaison office, essentially a communications gateway between the two sides, paid for by the South, but based on northern soil, was not just a symbolic act, but also a practical and a functional one. I'll note that it had been closed, according to the South, since January of this year due to the coronavirus pandemic. So no one from the South, presumably from the North, was based there at the time the building was blown up. So we can perhaps presume it was empty. We don't know for sure.
Turkey has been targeting the PKK terror group for many years, but on Monday more than 80 positions were taken out within a few hours. Security officials say it was a massive intelligence-based operation. They say while the world was busy dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, the PKK was regrouping. It was planning to infiltrate the country and target Turkish citizens and assets. PKK experts say the terror group has been hit hard.
The air operation of yesterday is a major operation which has been only possible due to the huge gathering of intelligence by the Turkish intelligence. So the airstrikes, especially on the Sinjar Mountains, is also quite important from a strategic point of view, as it's the main hub between the Kandil Mountains in Iraq and the YPG presence in Syria.
Harvesting season has arrived in northern Syria, but in the town of Rumelim, there's more women than men, more guns than harvesters. These women are Kurdish volunteers and have created a group called the Community Protection Forces. Their self-appointed mission is to protect farmers' crops from Islamic State arsonists. Last year, tens of thousands of acres of wheat and barley fields were scorched across northern Syria and Iraq, resulting in millions of dollars in losses for already struggling communities. Islamic State claimed many of the fires as punishment for those who opposed them. Others say ISIL uses the threat of crop burnings to extort locals into paying them taxes.
Less than 2 weeks remain until the declared target date of July 1st, which Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had declaratively scheduled for asserting Jerusalem's sovereignty over approximately 33% of the West Bank. Arab Gulf states are stepping up efforts to pressure Washington and Jerusalem to abandon Israeli plans for annexation. The Israeli defense establishment is actively preparing for a number of viable scenarios that may unfold in the near future, which may challenge Jerusalem's peace and security.
A Limpopo community is reeling from shock after suspects attacked a family yesterday. A 90-year-old woman and her 60-year-old daughter were killed while a teenager was injured. The suspects were apparently looking for a young man who is a member of the family, and they allegedly shot his relatives after accusing them of hiding him.
We don't have much in the way of information in terms of the motive behind these two murders. But we are gathering from the ground that this could have been a quintessential case of botched mob justice, where a group of people just broke into this house behind me looking for a man that has been linked with a spate of crimes and terrorizing communities, people around this community. But now, when they got in, they couldn't find him. And they accused the two old ladies of hiding him, and then they opened fire.
The future of the Captain Cook statue in Melbourne's inner city will soon be up for debate after it was defaced on the weekend. Vandals sprayed the words "shame" and "destroy white supremacy" on the memorial located in the Edinburgh Gardens at Yarra. Councillor Stephen Jolly will put forward a motion asking Yarra Council to consult with the Aboriginal community on whether to keep the memorial. He's suggested the plaque be moved to a local museum or a historic society.
It is with a very heavy heart that I confirm the pilot of the downed F-15C Eagle has been located and confirmed deceased. Out of respect for the family and their privacy during this incredibly difficult time, we will not release the name of the pilot until after all next of kin notifications have been completed. This is a tragic loss for the 48th Fighter Wing community, and our deepest condolences go out to the pilot's family and the 493rd Fighter Squadron.
Coming down in chains.